Well, good Lord, Florida State. What are we even doing with this, my guys? Like, okay. Let's start what we know. Okay, start with what we know. Boston College just got their first top 10 win since 2014 against number 10 Florida State, who had the very unfortunate pleasure, shall we say, what are you supposed to do with a Florida State team that couldn't wait to not be ranked until after week 1 when they were 0-2? What do you say about that? Because I can start with a lot of different things. I can start by telling you BC is on the good foot with Bill O'Brien, who is doing the Lord's work with Thomas Castellano and Trayshawn Ward. I can tell you that BC is a damn good football team who was able to run the football on a damn good football team, but you know that ain't true. You know that ain't true. You know what I'm saying? It's a Georgia Tech team that went for 190 plus on Florida State in Ireland. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Florida State get back home, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. They're going to get back to Doak Campbell. They're going to get in front of the A-Peoples, and they're going to get beat down 28-13, giving up 274 rush yards. Holy smokes, guys. All right, it's about the time where I'm also going to take a little trip around, because when I did this segment a couple of weeks ago, a lot of folks were telling me, hey, RJ, get off of Mike Norvell. Leave that alone. You still want me to leave that alone? You still feel good about that? You ain't heard the murmurs about Coach Prime being over there in Boulder and what they might want to do down in Tallahassee? Did y'all know that Coach Prime wanted to be a college football coach first at Florida State? Did y'all know that? Called up Mickey Andrews, said, hey, Coach, what I got to do to get the job over there? You got to do some things. You got to do some things. And he went and done some things since then. But they hired Mike Norvell, and he went to Jackson State. He won him some SWAC championships. Still ain't won no bowl game. Still ain't won no Black College Football National Championship. But be that as it may, he went to Colorado. And if nothing else, they winning everywhere but on the football field. Merchandise sales is up. Students is up. All the things that universities want is up. They own the up and up. They just got to win more football games than they lose. Meanwhile, Colorado is 1-0, and Florida State is 0-2. Okay, all right, let's get with that. Some of y'all looking up Mike Norvell's buyout right damn now. Right damn now. You want to know how much it's going to take to get up out of here, and you got this kid over here with the piggy bank going, Daddy, I will break it open. We can't live like this. Got some 6-year-old over here just in tears over what the nose done to him going back to school tomorrow. My goodness, they did this on Labor Day. They went out like this, sending everybody back to work with this L in Tallahassee after Miami gave Florida the blues. My goodness, Miami is the best college football team in the state of Florida. The private school in Coral Gables. You did that, Florida State. You did that. You know, I have to tell everybody now that y'all came up with a women's university, and we didn't know nothing about no football over there until Bobby Bowden got there. Y'all got a football program that we care about because of Bobby Bowden. That's it. Then he got Prime. Then he got Charlie Ward. Then he got Peter Warwick. Got work done. You know what I'm saying? On it goes. Chris Winkie came to get his boys Heisman back. My man, Torrance Marshall, took it back. Got that national championship with Oklahoma. But, you know, they got back on the good foot 2013 with Jimbo Fisher. And say what you want to say about Jimbo Fisher, and I know you will. He did win a national championship for Florida State. Mike Norvell ain't do that. He might say, hey, look, I was cheated out of an opportunity to play for a national championship last year. Yeah, all right, but if this was the kind of program that you was going to put on the field, let me tell you, my guy, that wasn't getting past Michigan. That wasn't getting past Washington. That wasn't what it was going to be. That was not what it's going to be. What it is now is you are the first head coach to lose to BC as a top 10 opponent in a decade. That's a fact. Now we're talking about BC held the ball for 14 minutes of a 15-minute quarter to start the damn game. They looked at Georgia Tech film and said, ooh, we know exactly what we're supposed to be doing to you. We are going to run on you like AC running in 90-degree humidity. We're going to have it up and going full time. No, not no auto. It's on all night long. And they was giving them the business, giving them the blues. FSU ran just 3 plays in the first quarter. 3 and outs, dog. Because you kept putting the ball into the hands of one DJ Uiagalelei. And I got to tell y'all, the truth about that boy is Jonathan Smith might have gotten more out of DJ Uiagalelei than Dabo Swinney and Mike Norvell. Maybe we need to go look at Jonathan Smith and ask him how to coach a quarterback, because we were having real discussions about whether DJ Uiagalelei was a better quarterback prospect for the NFL than Bryce Young. Of course, Bryce Young has since won the Heisman, and Carolina's trying to do everything they can to break that man. But you know what? I got faith, because Bryce Young, he got it going on like that. DJ, he still got some things to figure out here, dog. 2 chances at the end to get 6.5, and both of them were on DJ Uiagalelei's arm, and he was not accurate enough to find receivers in the end zone, and that is the reason why we are talking about him the way we were talking about him, and not say Shedeur Sanders, and not say Quinn Ewers, and not say Carson Beck, and not say Garrett Nussmeier, and not say Miller Moss. I can keep going here, because you've got to see tonight what is the difference between a tremendous quarterback in college football and a middling quarterback in college football. Accuracy. Can you put the ball where it needs to go and not overthrow your receivers by a country mile? Now, that said, Kyle Morlock didn't do him no favors. I'm watching that ball hit his hands and going, yo, Kyle, do you want DJ out of here too? Are you one of the dudes out here yelling, we want Brock Glenn at Doe Campbell? Because that's what it sounded like. That's what it looked like. Talk about a yikes moment. Nah, dog. Coming out of the locker room, he throws a 57-yard pick. Ran that ball back 57 yards, went to go up 21-6. And it was then that we all knew wasn't no hope left for no Florida State. Yeah, they scored, but you didn't think it was coming back. I didn't think it was coming back. It's time to talk about why we ain't seen no Brock Glenn, and it's time to talk about why we ain't seen no Luke Kromenhoek. You need to do something, but you know what? You can't do nothing. You know why? Nah, Florida State. You got to ride out DJ Uiagalelei like the Jets had to ride out Zach Wilson. Like the Jets had to ride out Sam Darnold, because you done paid all this money for this transfer portal quarterback that was supposed to be the guy to bring you back to the promised land, that is ACC championship, get you into a college football playoff. But no, now you got to wear this, because you told your mama at Walmart, Mama, I want to wear this puke brown t-shirt, and I want to wear these tan pants, and I want to wear these pale shoes. So now you out here with your 5 browns looking real kind of suspect back to school. Nope. Mama's paid a whole lot of money for that. So now you got to wear that clown suit. You got to wear it. You got to wear it like Florida wearing that loss to Miami. You just look silly. You just look silly now. Well, what you gonna do? You gonna sit down the man you paid all this money for? That ain't how business gets done. That ain't how we do business. I've seen y'all to Franklin Saint make y'all understand. My goodness, God. Like, I'm looking at this. Do you know that Florida State had rushed for more yards? Florida State. Let me back up. Boston College had rushed for more yards on Florida State than Georgia Tech had by the third quarter. I'm looking at 190 yards rushing by the end of the third quarter from Boston College. And I'm over here talking about, you know what, Georgia Tech might be about something. You know what I'm saying? Georgia Tech, that's a top 25 team. We're going to talk about my top 25 a little bit later on. I'll talk about a couple of other things. But now I'm not really so sure. You know, I'm looking at this like y'all looking at this going, maybe it's just Florida State is bad. Yeah. I had dropped them to 21 after having ranked them 5 in preseason, because once we start playing football games, I just tear everything up, do it all over again. And I'm thinking, you know what? They'll get back on the good foot. You know what I'm saying? They will let the BC Eagles know what time it is. They will remind us who runs the ACC. Nah, that ain't how that went, is it? No. I had to go and redo the top 25 because Florida State out here looking foolish. 0-4-2. And they got 10 games left. And you know what? Memphis is next week. Memphis can't wait to get to them, dog. You know why? Because Mike Norvell left Memphis to go to Florida State. And Memphis feels like the best Group of 5 program in the entire country for me. And you know what? They want nothing more than to prove that over the top of Florida State's dead body. They just wish that they had a ranking next to their name. You know what I'm saying? Like Boston College took that from them. Georgia Tech took that from them. I understand. I'd be hot too. But now Florida State, they got to pay for now showing up here with this ranking. I got to run it up now because it's an unranked opponent. It's an unranked Power 5 opponent now. What you supposed to do? You can't beat them by no 7. You got to beat them by 38. You got to go after them. You got to let Seth Hennigan and Rock Taylor go to work because we got style points to get here, son. That's what we trying to do. We trying to win our conference championship and be the highest ranked Group of 5 program so we can get in to the college football playoff. And one of the ways in which you can do that is by pointing to dead body of a Florida State Seminole over there going, hey, look at what we did to them in week 3. That's all you need to know about what we do against Power 5 programs. And you know what? We got to eat that. Meanwhile, Florida State is on the schedule for Notre Dame, and I don't even think that's going to be no game no more, man. Like, I was going, damn, like, what we going to do with Notre Dame? Nothing is the answer to that. Nothing. Like, Georgia Tech might give them the what for and the how now, maybe. You know what I'm saying? USC, at the end of the season, but by that time, we know who's getting into the college football playoff, dog. It ain't nothing to it. I'll also add this, man. Did y'all notice that Florida State had 12 men on the field before BC scored that third TD, and they still couldn't stop the run? BC got to wave off the penalty because you had 12, they had 11. They still ran the ball in. What are we doing with this, dog? Like, who we talking to with this? You know what I'm saying? How you supposed to go home with that? It ain't like BC is some sort of, I don't know, Notre Dame, Miami. You know, it's a private university. You know, they represent Boston because somebody gotta. They don't do college football like that. You know, it go back to Flutie, it go back to Flynn, but after that, what are we really talking about, dog? You know what I'm saying? Now, be that as it may, I'm also going to point out that Jeff Hafley left that job to take a lesser job. Jeff Hafley left being the head coach at BC so he could be defensive coordinator at Green Bay. But Bill O'Brien, he wanted to come home. He wanted to come home in a worse way because he turned down being the offensive coordinator at Ohio State to be the head coach at BC, and now he the one that looking like he knows something. You know what I'm saying? I'll add to this before we get up off this subject right quick. Do you know that BC gets Mizzou? Yeah. BC gets Mizzou for week 3. And they ought to be 2-0 by the time because they got Duquesne. You know, no disrespect, but Duquesne ain't nobody. That ain't nobody. I hope Missouri eats their Wheaties before that game because ain't nobody going to be more glued to that than me because I'm hearing people telling me good things about Missouri and telling me that Oklahoma ain't don't mean nothing to nobody. Okay, cool. Don't let BC do to Missouri what they just did to Florida State. I'm going to tell you that quick, fast, in a hurry, my guys. Let's keep it 100, keep it a buck on this one. I'm out here trying to tell you, man. Look, you better have something for Thomas Castellano. You better have something for Trayshawn Ward. You better have something for Robichaux. Otherwise, you might be you might be up a creek because we're not going to look kindly on a loss to BC ever. Ever. That's never going to be a thing. That's never going to be all right, okay? I'm looking at this, and I'm saying to myself, we're learning some things. Maybe we're paying attention. Maybe we're paying attention. My homie, he pointed out, he asked me, do you think that Bill O'Brien talks to Thomas Castellano the way that he talked to Jalen Milroe? And I said, hey, look, he talked to Deshaun Watson the way that he talked to Jalen Milroe. That's just who that dude going to be. But you know what? Thomas Castellano out there making it happen like Jalen Milroe making it happen. So whatever he's saying, it seemed to be working. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about quarterbacks, he seemed to know what he's doing at this college level, making it happen. All right?